Namaste. Have a nice day. Namaste and have a nice day. I am Dr. Rupali Kulkarni, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Physics, Swatantravir Savarkar College, BET. My roll number is 58. I am here in front of you for the seminar presentation for refresher course in Indian Knowledge System, organized by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. Welcome to my presentation. The topic of my presentation is Devotion of Foreign Authorities in Development and Preservation of IKS with special reference to Ajanta Caves. This one is the outline of my presentation. Here I am going to tell you about the 6 different foreign authorities who work hard for the development and preservation of precious Ajanta caves. Let me tell you one by one. First of all, John Smith. On 28 April 1819, John Smith, the Madras presidency officer, accidentally discovered the entrance to cave number 10 deep within the tangled undergrowth while hunting a tiger, which led to the discovery of the showpiece Ajanta caves. John Smith had a reputation of a hunter and he had hunted 99 tigers. Because of this, he was nicknamed by his family as Tiger. In the early 19th century, on April 28, 1819, when John Smith came to the area of a tiger, that is Ajanta Caves, he spotted a small carved portion of the arc of cave number 10 from the now famous viewpoint, hidden in dense undergrowth. Based on the information of John Smith, further excavations were carried out there, and as many as 29 Buddhist caves were found as a precious treasure of the history of ancient India. It took about 600 years to build all these caves. To establish his claim to the discovery of this 10th cave, John Smith carved a piece of fresco on a priceless, beautiful fresco there. It is still visible today. It bears the inscription John Smith, 20th Cavalry, 28th April 1819. And hence, John Smith became the first devourer of this beautiful treasure. uh, Successor of John Smith. Actually, the family successor of John Smith, Martin Smith, apologized to the world for the action of John Smith. After the discovery of these caves by John Smith, which became valuable to the world, nothing was done for the next 24 years. But the reports were prepared according to British methodology. A thorough study was conducted. Consequently, in 1844, the company appointed the captain Robert Gill to Ajanta. Now, the next devotee is James Ferguson. James Ferguson was famous author of that time. He visited the Ajanta caves in 1839 and then after in 1843 he presented his paper entitled Rock Cut Temples of India to the Royal Asiatic Society. Ferguson was horrified by the widespread vandalism and neglect of Ajanta's beautiful paintings. Therefore, Ferguson led a campaign to preserve the fragile parts in the caves. Ferguson was the first to recognize its Buddhist origins and dated the work from about 200 BCE to about 650 CE. Most important work done by James Ferguson about Ajanta caves is that he numbered the caves from 1 to 29, and this numerical order became their accepted nomenclature. Thus, Ferguson managed to attract the attention of the East India Company's Court of Directors, and then the Court of Directors commissioned Major Robert Gill of the Madras Army to make replicas of all the paintings in the Ajanta caves. Next person I am going to tell about is Robert Gill, Major Robert Gill. Most of the people are known about Robert Gill due to the film Ajanta. Robert Gill was commissioned at Ajanta for replicating all the Ajanta paintings in the caves. It was a seemingly impossible task, but Major Gill took this challenge with vigor and grace so that he could bring the scholar to the world's attention. Thus, in 1844, Robert Gill began replicating Ajanta's magnificent frescoes, and it took him more than 20 years to complete a series of copies of the frescoes he was most passionate about. Actually, Major Gill worked under really very tough conditions for 20 years. Apart from the obvious challenges, the tough conditions are unbearable heat for his body. The chaos belonged to the Bhil community, and Bhil community did not take kindly to the invaders and inhabiting tiger area. All these are the challenges in front of Major Gill at that time. But though 27 of Gill's canvases, oil reproductions of murals were exhibited at the Indian Court at the Crystal Palace in South London. But unfortunately, it was destroyed in a fire in 1866 without being photographed. Robert was so sad and he decided to return to Ajanta. Robert returned to Ajanta armed with a camera and a brush to begin again. But after that, he died there after a year. The 5 copies that have survived are now in the Indian Department of the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, then in the South Kensington Museum. Major Robert Gill applied a thick coat of varnish to protect the warped, crumbling paintings from the lingering humidity of the monsoons and to make their colors more vivid. The process had obscured the original brushwork and caused irreparable damage to the frescoes, which were rapidly fading with varnish. The next person I am going to tell you about his devotion for Ajanta caves is Principal John Grips. In 1872, John Grips was the principal of the Sir J.J. School of Art, Bombay. He, along with his students, resumed the work undertaken by Major Gill at the behest of the Bombay government. Over 10 years, he and his students produced 300 paintings. This was a great job done by John Grips of 3 paintings. Of these, he sent 125 his painting copies to the South Kensington Museum. where they were exhibited. Again, 87 of his copies of paintings were destroyed in a fire of 1885. But fortunately, after they were photographed. From the copies that survived the fire, Grips compiled his work on the Buddhist cave paintings at Ajanta and published it in 1896, a work of truly significant importance. Now, the last person I am going to tell you about the foreign authorities, Professor Lorenzo Secconi and his assistant, Count Orsini. During the early 1920s, the Nizam's director of archaeology obtained the services of Professor Lorenzo Sessoni, assisted by Count Orsini, to restore the paintings in the Ajanta caves. The repairs to the caves and the cleaning and conservation of the frescoes have been carried out on such a sound principle and in such a scientific manner that these matchless monuments have found a fresh lease of life for at least a couple of centuries. These two Italian experts worked at Ajanta from 1920 to 1922, delicately removing the old varnish applied by Robert Gill, dirt and smoke from the surface with breathtaking results. This extended the life of the frescoes by 2 centuries. Therefore, this is a great work done by Lorenzo Sessoni and his assistant Count Orsini. Now I am going to tell you about the last devotee, that is Walter Spink. He worked for Ajanta Caves from 1950 to 2019. Just before 4 years, Walter Spink died. Walter Spink studied Ajanta Caves chronologically. In a prolific career spanning 5 decades or more, he has meticulously reconstructed step by step the excavations of the period under the Vakataka Emperor Harisena. His comprehensive research has significantly reduced the arbitrariness of dates and shed light on the many sociological and political influences that shaped the course of history of Ajanta. Walter Spink started studying the complex in 1950s and analyzed the caves for over 4 decades in almost with his 100 publications. His research was the Ajanta History and Development series,